Hey, Barbara. Hello. Welcome, everyone. Please rise for the pledge. We'll start the meeting. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated.
Present.
Here.
Here.
Here. Make a motion to accept the agenda. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Make a meeting to accept the town board meeting is March 19th. Can I have a second?
Say that again.
Make a motion to accept the minutes for the town board regular meeting March 19th. Can I have a
Second.
Bardini, all in favor?
Aye.
Next up is introduction of new employees. So, Commissioner, you got a couple new employees for us today?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Councilman Rye, Councilman Foreman, Supervisor Albra, Mr. Turtino, Ms. Bardini, and Madam Clerk. I'm here tonight to introduce two candidates that are coming before the board here tonight for appointment to the police department on a recommendation of the chief of the department. The two candidates have been vetted through background. They have both taken civil service exams under 58-1 of the Civil Service Law. They both have completed their police academies, so they're good to go. The first candidate is Alicia Versace. After graduating from Sanders Trade School in 2012, Anisha attended Rockland Community College, earning an associate's degree in liberal arts, social science, humanities, and also graduated from the Westchester County Police Department Academy and began her law enforcement career with the Greenburgh Police Department in July of 2022, where she worked until August of 2023. Candidate Versace has a strong desire to utilize her training and experience to serve our community. Alicia.
Hi, I'm Anise Vasati. It was a good try, though. Do you have any questions for me?
Just where do you live? What got your interest to come to Fishkill?
Okay, so I live in Westchester. I live in Ardsley, and I wanted to come to Fishkill Police Department because I wanted to help people. You know, as a little girl, I always loved helping everyone, and if I could do that in the time of need of somebody, I would love to, you know, get back to it.
Okay. Any questions? No.
Now, I read a resume and made some calls, and you seem to be very impressive to people, and I know you are, so glad you applied.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Second candidate is Vincent Tarazi. In 2004, Vincent began his law enforcement career as a police officer in the NYPD, where he worked until he retired in January of 2025. During his 21-year career in the NYPD, he made over 500 arrests and was promoted to the rank of detective second grade. Candidate Tarazi has a strong desire to utilize his extensive training experience to serve our community.
Very good.
Vincent.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Vincent Trozi. I grew up in Beacon Hills and in Beacon. I currently live in Newburgh. I appreciate the opportunity to serve the community that I remember as a child. So I open you guys to any questions you guys might have.
500 arrests? How many arrests have we had in 30 years?
How many arrests, Commissioner, how many arrests do we had this month with the police department? 56, something like that?
38.
38, okay.
Yeah, that was the whole department for this month, last month.
I have known Vincent Trozi for the better part of 30 years, and I congratulate him on his retirement from the NYPD.
Thank you, sir.
And I think we're very fortunate to have both of these candidates be on be on call in Fishkill for the residents.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody over here?
No, welcome aboard.
Thank you, sir. Ma'am.
Thank you.
Folks have any other questions for me?
Not at this time.
Reading your traffic report, I'm very pleased, and I just want to talk about it because
Sure.
I want people who are listening in to understand how active we've been out there making traffic stops. When we hit an area, Jackson, Osborne Hill, Baxtertown, Merritt Boulevard, and we make, as I see in this report, a lot of stops, and still, we're never going to stop the tide, but I think you guys have really targeted well and stepped it up well, and, anything more we can do is always appreciated, so.
Sure.
You guys are very good.
We've heard the concerns of the community. We've asked our officers to step up increased patrols on certain designated streets where we've received quite a few complaints, primarily Jackson, Merritt Boulevard, along with Cary Avenue. We've also just got up into Dutchess Park, where we are receiving some complaints also. I was on the phone today with the highway superintendent. He advised me that 12 out of the 14 speed signs that he's installing around the town are up and working. There are 2 still waiting to be put up next week on Jackson Street. So that should be able to give us a data from them machines to see if, we need to enforce in those locations
Good.
where those speed machines are.
Good.
So,
Would you know, speaking with Carmine, when those school zone signs are going to come in?
we've both have been speaking with Dutchess County Traffic and the Engineering. I understand he's got the okay for some of them, those signs to be put up. I'm not sure when he plans on doing that.
Okay.
But I understand it's a go on them. And we're also trying to get certain locations on Jackson Street designated as a school zone.
Good.
So
Yeah.
we're waiting to see if they'll move that forward for us.
Every little bit helps. Thank you.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.
Yep.
Thank you.
Next up is the privilege of the floor for general town items. This is the opportunity to speak about anything regarding the town of Fishkill. Eddie, you can go first. You'll bring a lady with you.
Good evening, members of the board. Tonight I'm going to be wearing 2 hats. The first hat is I'm here with Mrs. Amanda Kaya. I'm helping her coordinate a 5K that's going to be doing it's going to be going on May 3rd, and we need your services there, Mr. Supervisor, because we would like you to start this event if you could. Okay? So, and this is a community event that was done prior, before COVID, and then after, it hasn't started after COVID. And we're really inviting everybody in here as representatives of the community. I think that we should all be there together and represent the town and all the residents. I think it's going to be one great event, having all of you in there. I don't care if it's for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, but help us out, because we are in need of help. She'll explain more about it from my part. As you know, me with the community, I like to get everybody involved, because we all in here together. And just for one day, we could spend without bickering, with each other, just mingle. Let's mingle with the community, let's run with the kids, run with young adults, because after all, it's not our benefit, it's for the benefits of the community. So we'll now introduce you to Mrs. Amanda. She's new on this, so easy on her, okay, guys? Come on.
Welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me. Thank you for the introduction. As he said, my name is Amanda Callie. I'm honored to serve as the board president of St. Mary's School. So we are very excited to be bringing back for the first time post-COVID our Fishkill 5K and 1 mile fun run for the kids, as well as Hudson Valley Vendor Market. It'll be May 3rd, as Edward had mentioned, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. This essentially will be a color race as well. So in lieu of the school spirit, we'll have blue and gold powder burst into the air as the participants are running down the finish line. We're hoping this will engage the younger students to participate, even though we're also promoting health and wellness. But this isn't just a race for us. This is a celebration of the community as well. It's the chance for us all to come together and support something bigger than ourselves, correct? So we're very excited, and we're grateful for a lot of the local vendors in the area who have actually come on board to contribute. Panera, the bagel shop, and Stewart's, they've all donated bagels, pastries, ice cream from Stewart's for our participants, which will all be free. So the bagels and things of that nature will go directly to our post-race snack station for the participants for refreshments. And then after the second race, around 11:30 to 1 o'clock, we'll have ice cream available for everyone. As I had said, we'll have the indoor-outdoor Hudson Valley Vendor Market, and so many more family activities, face painting, Rock Om Yoga, a local has been gracious enough to provide some free sessions prior to the race and post-race. So that was very kind of him. And we're very excited to, come together as a whole and start this race together. So I implore everyone, lace up your sneakers and come on board. We would love to have you, even if it's just to come support and cheer the kids on.
Yeah, if you can guys get me a flyer, we'll work on that.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
I have several flyers for you.
Say the date and time again for everybody.
May 3rd from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. The first race will start at 9:45, and the second for the 5K will start at 10:30. State troopers, the village, and town PD have been
Where's the start?
thankful enough to be helping. It'll start off down south of Jackson Ave, and then for the 1 mile, it'll turn on to Florence Avenue, then onto Wellesley Place, and then just loop back around.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Very good. If get me it in email format, the flyer ready, and this way we can take care of that for you.
Thank you.
We'll advertise it. Thank you, ma'am.
Take care.
Okay, anybody else like to speak?
In regards to this, she has flyers and the map for you guys tonight, so you could have it done. The other thing that we really need in this event is if any of you know any bicyclist, we need, it's custom that the town, so we require that. We try the Beacon Bicycle Club, but they're too busy for that day. They're not available. But if you know anybody that could ride a bike, I'm not saying a three-wheeler, but a good bike, and because they're the one that's going to lead the race. So like that, the people that are on the race will not deviate to somewhere on the street, so they know exactly. Plus, the need of the volunteers are the adults or anyone over 18 years old. The need of that is crucial because we need marshals, and we need marshals to be on station, on the road, and we prefer to be adults. And there's a deadline on that, I believe.
Yes, for the town, we need a minimum of 30 street marshals. I have several family members.
We can't hear her.
Sorry. For the town, we need a minimum of 30 street marshals. We'll provide the high-velocity safety vests for everyone, but we really do need a lot of the community to come on board and help us just cheer these guys on, make sure they're going the proper course, and just stay stationed for the duration of the event. And I will graciously feed them for their participation.
That's the reward. They get fed. And this is what you guys would like, we would like you guys to come in,
I'll help out.
mingle with the community. That's the whole of it. Just just keep this day event for the community. Let's forget about anything, just let's go out there, enjoy with the kids, you know, and let's get, I'm really pushing for that, for those bicyclists. I know a lot of you out here, especially people from Beacon, they should know people out there, so let's use your connection. They're not getting paid. Okay.
Eddie, have you met with the police at all about,
No, we are meeting with
Traffic?
them, we are meeting with them and on the 6th, the 7th, right?
We did have our first safety meeting. We have our second one this coming Monday, the
Was that
7th.
with Lieutenant Wood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Jeff Bridges will also be.
Can I ask
attending as
you,
well.
because at past races, before I even heard about there being a race, I looked out my home on 21 Florence Avenue and saw all these kids running by, and I didn't know that there was going to be a race. So have you given thought to where you turn on Florence and then Wood and Leicester to put flyers the day before in everyone's doors so they know the times that people will be coming through? I think it'd be a great courtesy.
That is a great courtesy. I will definitely make sure that happens. I did speak with the town police, our prior meeting, about putting signage out there for the road, just for trafficking purposes, and to make everyone aware that the event would be taking place that day, but I
It
think
just helps.
it would be a personal touch.
Yeah.
It's a nice addition, so.
And another thing, if you guys have any ideas, you know, we welcome. The more ideas, you know, the better it is, you know, safety issues, so stuff like that. But I didn't want to deal with this because I have enough on my plate. But I said, you know, it's a community. It's good for it, for the kids. So anything for the community.
I'll volunteer at the bagel shop. Well, I'm serious.
Thanks,
We're
guys.
going to hold on to you.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, the second part of my hat is that on April 12th, the Blodgett Library is conducting a food drive from 10 in the morning to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So again, I have a flyer and we'll put it together and you're all welcome and invited like all the time. So please join us. And I know we're too far away. We're about a month away from this event. And I like to see you guys out there. We really, and Mr. Supervisor, I was just talking to Amanda, and we might have that starter gun there. Don't put no real bullets here. Let's not become an Alice Baldwin here now, okay?
Okay.
All right? So please put that in your calendars. And you too, Mr. Attorney, you're welcome to come. We might need a lawyer in the premises, you know, we never know.
Let's hope not, right? See.
Pro bono.
if you have flyers,
Yep.
Yes,
We'll get 'em.
we got flyers and stuff, and again, if you have any ideas, please reach out. All the information is gonna be on the package that Amanda is gonna give you guys now, all right?
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you
for your time.
Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eddie. Ms. LaGoy?
Hello, Ann LaGoy. I live in the town of Fishkill. I just wanted to remind everyone that the Highway Superintendent, Carmine Istvan, the Highway Department, and Keep Fishkill Beautiful in conjunction are hosting another tailgate talk this Sunday, April 6th, at the Highway Garage at 2 Gearing Way. Starts at 10 a.m. And this month, we'll be welcoming the accomplished gardening expert, Barbara Hobbins, as well as members of the Verplank Garden Club, as we focus on pollinator gardens and planting of native species. Pollinators are vital for contributing to food security, ensuring ecosystem health, and helping to contribute to our everyday well-being and quality of life. This will be an important and informative conversation you won't want to miss. And again, that is on Sunday, April 6th. This is another in our series of tailgate talks. We are lining up many different talks, different subjects on the first Sunday of each month, except for 4th of July weekend. So hopefully everyone can meet us there.
What's the time again? 9 or 10? 10.
Anybody else?
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Hey, Civi.
I was hoping we could do the donation drive for the month of May. I've got it on the flyer, May 3rd, in front of the police station, from 10 to 1 like we did last year. It's a big hit. I got a flyer, I'll email it to Joe. I think we're good to go. Thanks.
Board members, you okay with this one too?
Yes.
Of course.
Can you just remind, for the residents who are watching who might not be familiar with you, your organization, what it is that what you'll be doing on
Sure.
May?
It's Tails of Wagon. We collect donatable goods for local animal shelters and rescues. We just collect what we can and bring them around anywhere from Poughkeepsie down to Beacon. People are really pleased to have the Fishkill Town Hall as a drop-off spot. They feel safe coming here. I get a lot of people all during the year saying, is your box still there? Can we drop it off? It's just a good event, and we're helping as many dogs and cats and other animals as we can.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Well, good, Civi. Thank you.
All right,
Anybody else?
thanks, guys. Here's the flyer. So I'll email it to Joe.
Yes, this way we have it nice and crisp.
Yeah, Joe a copy, but I forgot to bring it.
I appreciate it. Add it to that one. Thank you, Civi. Good seeing you.
Everybody have a good night.
You too.
Have a good night.
It is.
Good evening to the board and everyone present. My main purpose for being here tonight is this.
You say your name.
I'm so sorry.
I know you, but
Not everyone does.
My name is Ruth Anderson of Glenham, New York, and Taking It to the Streets. And I'm always coming with Taking It to the Streets. The last time I was here, I gave a presentation regarding the needs for taking it to the streets. I want to thank the board. I want to thank Joe Perrone. I want to thank every resident of Fishkill. The support, the generosity, the kindness, the volunteerism has been overwhelming. And I want to say, in behalf of Taking It to the Street, thank you. And I am so grateful. That's number one. Number two, Taking It to the Streets is having its first free concert and awards ceremony. And the concert will be produced and directed by one of our native residents who has gone on to great success. He's in movies, he's in theater, he's on stage, he sings before thousands, and he also has an academy wherein he not only trains and mentors students academically, but also in the arts. And his name is Reginald Bennett Jr. We will have, you know him, don't you? We have a stellar group of performers. It's going to be a night to remember. You don't want to miss this. We have a youth segment, we have an instrumental segment, we have a full band, we have vocalists who sing nationally and internationally. And they're coming on April 26th to Salem Tabernacle Church. The pastor opened up his church. He's not charging one dime for us to be there. It will begin open doors at 6 p.m. I will say this, it's first come, first seat only. I want the board to come. And if you're coming, I want you to notify me, and I will have reserved seating for you. So I want to thank everyone on this board again, every resident and everyone outside of Fishkill who have been giving since 2016, and that's where the awards ceremony comes in. It will be my time as founder and CEO to recognize these individuals. We will be dressed as the Academy Award will dress. Everybody's going to be dressed up, but you don't have to. Come as you are and just enjoy. Thank you so much.
Mr. Anderson, if you got a flyer, get it to Joe.
You know I have it.
All right. I don't got to ask her.
I missed the date for the minutes.
I have it right here for you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Okay, Ruth. Counting on it.
Anybody else like to speak tonight? Okay. On to liaison member reports. Councilwoman Bardini.
I've been working with the supervisor on the development of the waterfront. I think this would be a very exciting project for the town. We're one of the few towns that has waterfront, but no access to the waterfront. So there is a developer who's interested in building the bridge that would connect, over the railroad tracks to the piece of land. I think there's about 89 acres. They also will give land back to us so we can have some open spaces, a large park. It'll be, it's planned to be mixed use, so there'll be, housing, maybe some restaurants. It'd be nice to have some waterfront access, and it's just in the planning stages, but I think it's something that's very exciting for the town, and I'll keep you informed as we move forward on it.
Greg.
I'm good, I'll pass it down.
Okay, today is April 2nd. It is World Autism Day. I am wearing blue, right here. ADS, Autism Directory Services, have announced that the 25th Annual Autism Walk is scheduled for Saturday, April 26th at James Baird State Park. I did participate in that last year, and I found it very, very moving. And the only other thing that I have here is I have 3 of my final 4 teams still left in March Madness. That's all I have.
Who's your winner?
Auburn.
Ooh. Bold.
When's the next game?
Saturday.
Saturday, of course. I did, the waterfront thing, Louise, I remember we...
Louise.
I'm sorry. Jackie. Old habits. Didn't we sign something with this guy? He wants to develop that down there, but he's got to get approval by the railroad, which will take. And we gave him a letter of cooperation.
We gave him a letter of cooperation,
Yeah.
and he finally got in communication with the MTA, and me and Jackie were able to get them to have a meeting.
Oh, good.
So it's getting fast-tracked, and he's going to pay for the bridge.
I know that.
So that's a good thing, and he's probably going to use a local contractor to do it.
And I remember
It's
that.
even
I
better.
told him he should do that. So this is good. It's a great new development. I love that.
It's like $10 million to
I
build
know.
the bridge.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. But the that whole thing, if it comes through like the way he presented, it's going to be awesome. Awesome. So I thought it sounded like at first it's going to be decades before that we could even see it, but sounds like it's a little closer.
It's a lot closer, and it might be in the plan. I actually would like to have, Mr. Gavin, a development like that. This land is over on the Hudson River, about 80, 90 acres, over the tracks. We have to build a bridge. How do I make the town board lead agency if that comes to it, instead of going to the planning board? Can I do that?
You can do that because the town board would be a permitting agency in regard to use of the property as a park.
Yep.
The crossing over, you'd be granting approval, so you'd probably be entering into a developer's agreement.
Okay,
So
but the town board can do it.
The town board can do it if you want to be lead agency.
Okay, you good with that if we do that?
I think it'd be great.
Yeah.
You guys okay? That we just
Yeah.
handle it? Okay.
Mr. Gavin, one question regarding the letter of cooperation that was written, this is now a new board, should another one be issued? Or
No.
is something like that, because it's not really legally binding, is that more just a
Well, it is a letter of
memorialization?
cooperation. It's not a contract, as you rightly say. So, look, I think that the developer is perfectly willing to stand by it. If there's an issue or you want to change something, then you might look into revisiting it. But other than that, I don't see a need.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, we'll go right into,
Oh, well,
I'm sorry, we
That's
skipped you.
okay. That's all right. I was sitting here sort of daydreaming about the waterfront.
It's a good day.
So,
And the weeds, apparently.
I mean, there are a lot of different meetings I went to on a small basis and just staying connected out there. But I did go to the Rombout breakfast, and that was really, really highly populated. So it was really good to go to. And other than personal projects that I'm working on for the town, that's about it.
Thank you very much. All right, I'll pass. No presentations. First discussion is, number one, discussion of the property maintenance law regarding Van Wyck Lake Road and intersection of Route 52 and 82. Mr. Gabbard?
Mr. Supervisor, these, I know they're listed on the agenda as discussions. What they really are is the continuation of the hearings.
Okay.
From I think it was 2 meetings ago. They were adjourned until now. So you have to really kind of treat them separately. There's the Route 52 property and the Van Wyck Lake Road property, and the appropriate thing to do is to announce this is the continued hearings and call first, well, whichever of the two you want to call first, and then either decide you're going to close the hearing or hold it open, and the same thing with whichever one you decide to take
All right,
second.
so mention the first Van Wyck Lake one, say it.
So this is continuation of the hearing in regard to Van Wyck Lake Road and 4 property maintenance violations.
And I have to make a motion to open it up?
I think you can just announce it. It's scheduled for tonight.
Okay, so now what?
Now we wait and see if anybody wants to speak to it.
He's here, he's got a connection to the owner. Sir?
Any questions?
Mr. Gabbard, explain to him what the situation is.
The situation is that there's been a notice of violation issued in regard to, I believe it's unregistered vehicles on the property, which constitutes a property maintenance violation. The town board is in a position tonight to adopt a resolution finding that the building inspector has correctly issued the notice of violation, confirming it, and then putting out for, when it's ready, contract remediation by removal of the vehicles. The cost thereof will be charged back to the property. So if you have anything to say about that, explanation, defense.
Yeah, I'm here to
whatever.
let you know that beginning of next week, the vehicles are going to be start taking out of
Who
there.
are you, for starters? I mean,
This is my wife's property.
Just tell us who you are.
Oh, Paul Tedesco.
How you doing, sir?
Thank you.
this is your wife's property, and
Yes, and this is being cleared up starting next week, taking all the vehicles out of there in violation of it, and then going to the town to get my permit to rebuild the house for her.
So if you think you'll have this cleaned up by next month at this time?
Yes,
So, Mr.
definitely.
Gaba, this one, could we just keep open until next month?
I think it would be appropriate to hold it over for 30 days, 60 days? What do
That
you
would be
need?
thankful.
How many days you want?
30's fine.
30's fine?
Yes.
And just have a motion to hold the hearing open, let them come back at that time and update you on what the status of it is, and, if there's further action required at that time, you close the public hearing and adopt the resolution. If not, you can close the public hearing and just close the matter out.
So you got till May 7th?
Thank you.
So what?
That's our first meeting in May.
So what do you say, Mr. Gaba? We'll continue the meeting?
Motion to continue the public hearing until May,
So moved.
the hearing until May 7th.
All right, second and all in favor?
Oh, aye.
Okay, so you got till May 7th. All right, and
Thank
in
you.
between then, come see me if you need me, okay?
Okay.
My office is in the back over there. Yep, right next to Joel, right next to the building inspector. Okay? Good luck, sir. Next up, Mr. Gaba, say the same thing again?
This would be the continued hearing in regard to the property maintenance violation proceedings on Route 52.
Good evening, George Alisandrados from Keenan Bean. I'm an associate there on behalf of 1574 Route 52 Florida Realty. With me tonight, I have Michael Hounted, an owner of the project. I have Tony Vaccaro, the lender's representative, and I have Arnold Spiegel, the lender's attorney. So we have a full team here if we have to answer any questions. This is obviously with regard to a notice of violation that was issued for basically cleaning up the property. There was some overgrown shrubbery. There was a fence that was stolen. There's a slab that's mentioned in the notice of violation. I don't know if you guys have seen pictures or if you got updates, but I do have pictures to hand out. On March 13th, the property was completely clean. So I have pictures, if I could bring it up to you. And I even have pictures today, taken earlier today, April 2nd, to show you that we are maintaining it. So someone goes out there on a weekly basis, make sure it's in, good shape. The reality is that there was a point in time between the notice of violation and the cleaning that there was like cold weather, there was rain, there was snow, whatever the case was. So it was hard to get on the property. But if you'd like, I could bring pictures up now for context.
So who do you got here again?
I have Michael Houghton. He's an owner on the project.
Hold on, the project?
An owner.
You own the property? You have title to the property?
He's a part owner.
You're a partner? Okay.
He's owned by an LLC. He's one of the members.
Okay, where's the LLC out of? Florida? Okay. So here's the deal. When are you going to put up the performance bond and get the building permit?
So that's
what I want to know.
Absolutely. We are so close to finalizing that. We actually have the draft letters of credit with us tonight, and I even have the draft letter for the planning board to submit to show that we have satisfied all the conditions. So quite literally, within the next few days, we are going to be submitting everything to the planning board for that final approval. Obviously, checking in on the property on a weekly basis, making sure it's all good. But we hope that, once it's we submit it to Debbie or whoever it goes to, then the letters of credit have to be reviewed and approved, and I understand that it probably is approved at a town board meeting, the letters of credit, right?
The amount is the amount.
Yeah. The amount of the performance bond has been approved. That was quite some time ago. That was some months ago. But the letters of credit...
Then you may not need to come back to the town board. You
Okay.
have to submit them through.
Yeah. Debbie's instructions were a little...
Who approved it? Was it planning that approved it?
No, they can't approve that.
That approved the performance bond amount?
Yeah.
Engineer makes a recommendation.
I have
the
the...
board adopts it.
Correct. The CPL, I believe, makes a recommendation. And I actually have the draft resolution from the meeting, so I could tell you the exact meeting that it happened at as well.
Because I know we approved it, right? So.
You had approved it, yes.
We did, okay.
Yeah.
Can you refresh our memory, what is the amount of that performance bond?
Yes, give me 1 second to sort through all my papers here.
Absolutely.
The performance bond was a $217,083 performance bond. That was approved at the August 7th, 2024 town board meeting. And then the other numerical figures, in case you're curious, there is the maintenance bond on the project, which is $53,303, an inspection fee, which is $25,000, and then planning board escrow, which right now is at about $2,500 balance to just come current. There's some other conditions, land bank parking agreement, we have that all drafted up, address all the comments from the CPL and the engineers. We've tackled all of that. So we are quite literally steps away from submitting to Debbie, and then at that point, my understanding, maybe it doesn't come back before you guys, that the letter of credit language is reviewed, approved, and then it's issued. The final version of it is issued. The checks are all with the planning board after our submission, and then it's just final signature by the planning board.
How much time you need to do this?
We hope to do it, we plan to do it rather in the next couple of days. The letters of credit are quite literally, Mr. Spiegel has them in his hand.
Who's the guy with the money? This guy here in the middle?
This is, you could come up, yeah. Lender's rep, lender's attorney. So if you have questions, they're here and they can speak.
So you guys will be ready, I'm going to table this to the May 7th meeting. You guys will have this done by then?
As long as you guys cooperate, I would like to give a specimen now of the letters of credit so we have no delay.
Can't do that.
Yeah, the letters of credit are going to be sent to the planning board, right?
Yeah,
I believe that's
they'll
the
be sent to
process.
the planning board.
So we'll have that all grouped together, a nice package sent over, and then since I know that now, I guess it doesn't have to be approved, that the money comes to the money.
Yeah. Are you on the agenda for April?
For
planning board?
We don't have to be on the agenda, is my understanding, that it's submitted as a separate side submission, and whoever it is, they look at it on the side. So quite literally, everything is drafted, everything is ready to go. The hope is by the end of this week or Monday at the latest, everything is submitted to the planning board, and then the behind the scenes go on, and once that's all approved, it's just signed by the planning board chairman.
So I thought I heard the statement, so long as we cooperate?
By that, he means because the letter of credit has to be reviewed and approved by the town attorney according to the rules.
Because I feel like we've been pretty...
No one is saying that the town has not cooperated. I believe it was more of as long as we don't have delays, we don't want it to be submit, and there's no reason to think this would be the case, but it can be as quick as whenever it's reviewed and approved and comes back to us, and the final letters of credit are issued.
You
So,
think you get that letter of credit done by next month, before the May 7th meeting?
Well, assuming they submit it in proper form, well, it has to go through the planning, and then it go to planning and zoning board secretary, then it comes to my office, I look at it, if there's a problem, I have to write back and say there's a problem, then they have to resubmit it. Look, they should be done, but can I promise you it will be? I can't promise you it will be.
Can I step in for a second? Can
I
I
have a s-
have our attorney, Arnold Spiegel, take care of the letters of credit, rather than dealing with everybody else, just for the letters of credit, because I know that you could handle it, and I know Arnold can handle it, and as a lender, I want it done. And we're putting up the money, and we're ready to go. We have the letters of credit ready to go. So if you could deal with just Arnold on this, Arnold Spiegel, our attorney, this could be done.
I agree, that's not the town's practice, though, so you're gonna have to go through the planning and the zoning board department, that's just all there is to it.
All right.
of course, you know, I believe, Mr. Gaba, correct me if I'm wrong, if there's any questions, if there is back and forth on the language of the letters of credit, that's like a open communication thing. I don't, unless, do we have to come back to a meeting to be told that there
Well,
needs
why
some
don't you
revisions?
give me a call this week, George, we'll take care of it.
Okay, and we'll take care of it.
Well,
yeah.
I was going to suggest that if, you know, Mr. Gaba can update us that he's satisfied that you're progressing along, I would be happy with that. How do you feel about
The town
that?
board wants this moving forward.
Yeah.
I understand that. and
We want to see this
Yeah.
brought to, you know, a completion of this
Absolutely.
project. And
Absolutely. So that's
just
why, you know, the
good
site
faith
has-
progress is what we're looking for.
Absolutely. The site has been cleaned up, and we understand there's frustration. The slab will be used. It's been studied. Engineer has studied it. The planning board approval is on that slab, so it's quite literally, once we're signed, sealed, and delivered, the project is going to progress.
Okay.
Can you give Mr., if everyone's in agreement with this, look at the calendar, look for when our next meeting is, and update him so he can let us know what the progress is, and maybe, you know, before each meeting, just keep us, I'd like to know before each meeting how it's.
I expect this to be done before the May 7th meeting, period.
Yeah.
That's reasonable? Okay. Mr. Gaba, and you can talk.
I hope so.
The board's okay with that?
Yep.
Sure.
So Becky.
Oh, see,
Everybody's
you did
messing
it
up the
too.
names today. Yep. I was with her today. I have it. Right, May 4th? May 4th.
So before the May 4th meeting.
I'm going to table this to the May 4th meeting, and if you
Okay.
guys are done, I'll just close it.
Okay, so we'll obviously be in communication with update,
This
and
guy. You deal with Mr. Gaba.
on May 3rd, we'll figure out if we have to appear, or if it's closed out, I'm assuming there's no
just
appearance
close it out.
necessary? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Mr. Gaba, would I got to make the motion again? Make a motion to carry the,
I thought you just did, but yeah, to continue the public hearing to the May 4th? meeting?
May 7th?
May 7th, you guys are
I
killing
thought
me.
it was May.
May 7th.
I thought it was
Seventh.
May.
May
7th,
7th?
not 4.
May
Okay.
7th, May 7th. Make a motion, can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Okay, thank you.
Number 2 just gets carried over until the May 7th as well.
The
That's
same guy?
It's the same things, it's the resolution that would allow you to confirm the findings and put out the work for bid.
Gotcha. So we'll just table that to the May 7th meeting, Madam Clerk. Next up is discussion of fill permit application. Brian, Greg, what's the update on that?
Well, just reviewing what we had, or what was in here, I think that there's a couple of tweaks that were missed, but I know we're just discussing right now. For instance, property damage is definitely 1 million per last notes, not 2 million
On the insurance part.
on the insurance part.
Yeah.
In addition, we do have fees that have been submitted by Highway and Buildings and the Police Department. And these are fees, for instance, the Police Department is per the PBA contract.
Yes.
And it's extra work, so it doesn't have anything to do with retirement. Ms. Bardini, I know that was a question you had, and, you know, it's a good one, but it's extra work, so the fee that they have is 150 an hour, minimum 4 hours. And then if there's a police car that's necessary, 150 a day. We could have worked out, done some math and try to tweak, the use of the police car. I said, we need to get this over with. Just give me a flat rate. So those are the two fees. So with everyone concurring, we'll just incorporate that. That's for that. And then for buildings and grounds, $62.50 per hour per Carmine and 3 hour minimum. So that's that for that. In addition, we're looking at, and I discussed this with Becky, I said, how does this, our clerk, Ms. Tompkins, how does this scan for you as far as efficiency when people come and need to do this? And she indicated that we should incorporate a checklist. And so it's just real efficient when they're in the office and they're filling this out, and you can make sure they have all the paperwork and the insurance and everything else. So that will be incorporated as well, something to that extent. But again, I think we're just down to making those tweaks and then changing property damage to 1 million. That's all I've got. If everyone's happy with it, I'm happy with it.
So, Mr. Gaba, can you do a resolution to approve that?
Yeah, we'll have the forms and the resolution for the next meeting. I don't think there's much, we're very close.
April 16th?
Yeah.
Sure.
Becky, April 16th, we're going to have a resolution, so just table this and we'll park a resolution there. Thank you, Brian, that was good. Discussion of resolution to approve peddler's permit for Hudson Valley Munchies. The chief wasn't happy about approving this,
I see that.
so I'm going to be a no.
Because of its location, what was that?
Did you read the attachments?
I thought I read it. I thought
The one from the police department, from the chief?
evidently I missed that.
Yeah, it's on the back of that. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Just read it.
Billing. Oh, I see this. So there's a record. Denial due to past incidents. Well, yeah, I'll be a no. It's good enough for me.
So am I.
All right, so we'll move on to the next then, will be town board to discuss sale of the property at 81 Route 82. So there's two ways of doing this. Me and Carmine talked about this, and he sent me this email about it. Good afternoon, Supervisor Albert and town board members. I want to take this opportunity to reach out to you all in order to provide you with pertinent information as you come together to decide what direction you will take with the listing of the sale of 81 Route 82. There are two options available to town for the sale of this property. Number one, MLS, multiple listing service. The town would pick a realtor who would oversee the sale of the property. Realtor would charge the town a commission on the sale between 2% and 5%. Number two, the listing with a realtor would allow the property to be listed on MLS, thus providing maximum exposure and the greatest reach. Number three, if the town was to go with this option, the board would have to decide on a real estate agent to list the property. Then option number two is an auction house. Dutchess County government list with AARB, I don't know what that is, but number two, listing with the auction house, I guess that's an auction house, such as AARB, would come at the cost of the buyer and not the town. The auction house would charge the winner of the auction a premium. The reach of the auction house is limited to the audience of the customer base that particular organization, so it would not have the exposure that it would have if it was listed on an MLS. Regardless of the choice that you decide on, rest assured the highway buildings and grounds will ensure that the property is ready for sale. Let them know if you have any questions. I think we might get some more money if we went to a realtor.
It's my sense too.
Yeah.
And
That's the way it sounds.
I would say just put it out there and have realtors come and present a marketing plan.
I don't want to. I'd like to get this. Are we just allowed to pick anybody to do this?
It's
Or we have to put out the
professional
bid?
services, you theoretically can, even your procurement policy wouldn't apply. It's generally the case, though, that you solicit, you don't have to, but generally the case you solicit at least 3 proposals.
3 proposals.
And see what
But
you
we're not
guys-
obligated because it's professional.
That's exactly right.
So ask for marketing plans. People present a marketing plan to get it done. And then we can reconvene on it and just move forward if you don't get anything.
All right, so I'll put that together. Okay, guys. That's that. We're okay with the 2 cops?
Yep.
Yes.
Next up is the Round Hill stop
I'm
sign.
sorry, wait 1 second. This property, number 5 that you just talked about, are we tabling this?
Let's table that to the next meeting, the 16th.
The 16th. Okay,
Sorry, thank you. Next up, everybody okay with the cops?
Yes.
Yes.
Number 7, discussion of Round Hill Ridge stop sign installation. So the community of Round Hill purchased a couple of stop signs with the flashing lights, and we want to be able to install them for them. Everybody okay with that?
Absolutely.
No problems?
Well, Ozzy, I don't mean to interrupt you, but as I understand it, they want to dedicate those signs to the town.
Yes.
Okay, so it's not just you installing them, they're going to give the signs to you,
Yes.
and you're going to install them. Okay.
Okay.
So,
Abstain when you get there.
so
that goes-
they're paying for them, and we just provide the labor to put them in? is
Yeah, they're like
basically it.
$9,500, I think.
Yeah.
They're nice, big flashing signs.
Yeah.
And we're just going to put them up.
And that's our road, so they're
Yep,
paying for it.
that's our
so
road.
Whatever.
Yep.
So this can be closed then?
We have to vote on it, right?
I don't see a resolution.
There is none.
There is none?
It's just
I don't think
discussion.
so.
Do we have to do a resolution for it?
You do, you have to accept the dedication of the stop signs and agree to put them in.
Can you have us a resolution for the next meeting?
Sure.
All right, Mr. Gavel will do a resolution for the next meeting, so we can get that done. Next up, discussion of resolution to amend the recreation fee schedule. Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Yes.
Next up, discussion of resolution to reopen the public hearing on proposed local law for accessory apartment. One of those rare occasions we're actually going to listen to the county on their recommendations.
Yeah.
So they actually had a couple of good ideas, so we're going to have to reopen the public hearing for accessory buildings to add.
All the comments I
To
saw
be
underlined.
4 comments. The first one is just changing the title from accessory apartments in single-family residence districts to just accessory apartments, because it's in more than single-family residence districts. The second one is changing the requirement from having 2 parking spaces per dwelling unit, which would include accessory apartments, to just having 1 per accessory apartment. The third one indicates that the principal, there's a owner-occupied requirement for accessory apartment properties. And the third change is that the owners don't have to live in the principal dwelling, they can live in the accessory apartment if that's what they prefer. The third change is that, let's see here.
Did you do the parking?
Yeah. Oh, off-street parking, yeah. And, that was it. And then the last recommendation was that you change the provisions of the law to provide that when a new owner purchases the property, they do not have to apply for issuance of an accessory apartment permit again. Rather, they just carry over the permit from the people who owned it before with the requirement that they come in and have an inspection, which I did not incorporate because the building department will be having a hard time keeping track of who it is bought and sold property, and if they're actually required to come in and get a new permit issued to them, who's getting the permit, who's responsible, and it's more likely you're going to get inspections. So that last comment was not included, but all the others were.
So number 4 is going to be stricken?
It's not going to be stricken, you just didn't include it.
It's not included. And that's what I had in there. We didn't have that included.
So I apologize. Is it being included or not?
It is not being included.
So we're getting rid of it? On the
Yes,
law.
in the sense that you're not incorporating what's proposed in the Dutchess County.
Oh, so we're not taking their recommendation on that one?
On that one, you're not,
Okay,
exactly.
got it, understood.
That's the only one excluded.
All right, so when do you want to set the public hearing on that? Do we have it in here? Reopen the public
Yes,
hearing.
you're reopening it. Look at, hold on, I can tell you. Oh, it won't let me open it. My apologies.
April 16th.
That's when the public
2 weeks
hearing?
from
I
now.
thought, but
Okay.
it wouldn't let me open it. Thank you.
All right, so the public
got you.
hearing will be on April 16th. Okay, thank you, Mr. Galvin. Next up, a discussion, resolution approving the rider to the license agreement between Fishkill, Town of Fishkill and Fishkill Little League for the use of Shepherd Memorial Park and Douglas Phillip Park.
Just wanted to flag, we skipped one.
I skipped one,
Yeah,
discussion of
number
resolution
10.
modifying the 2020 Recreation Fund adopted budget for the senior center program.
Yeah.
So I think they needed $4,000. Everybody okay with that?
Yep.
Okay. Number 11 is discussion and resolution approving a rider to the license agreement with the Town of Fishkill and the Town of Fishkill Little League for the use of Shepherd Memorial Park and Douglas Phillip Park. So we had to put a rider for the Little League lights. It's all squared away. Anybody have any questions on that?
This is basically making them responsible for the electricity, right?
Yeah.
Only that they use.
Only if they use it.
Yeah.
All right.
So if somebody rents it from outside or whatever,
Right.
they get billed for it.
Yeah.
Next up is privilege of the floor for anything that was on the agenda today. Anybody like to speak about anything on the agenda? No?
Ann LaGoy, Town of Fishkill. I actually had some questions in regards to the waterfront development that was just talked about. So I thought that I heard the town board now is going to be lead agency on that. I'm not sure if that means that the planning board will no longer have a role in looking at that. I do know that they came before the planning board, it must have been a couple of months ago, and it looked like a very complex, very intricate plan that needed a lot to happen. I would be a little bit concerned, being that the town board is so busy, that they would then be taking on the role of perhaps the planning board. And then I heard the supervisor say that you wanted to fast track this project. I never like to hear those two words in regards to development. Fast tracking something to me means cut corners. It means not necessarily looking at this project as deeply as it should be looked at. So that is, and according to your new rules, you of course don't need to answer any questions, but I do want that to be known. That is very concerning. And again, I was at the planning board meeting when they came before the planning board, and it looked like there were safety issues. It looked like there was public issues, meaning, there's going to be a park. Are you going to have just the regular general public coming into these, private neighborhoods? It doesn't look like it's a big space, but I think the biggest takeaway for me in looking at that project was that there was only one entrance and exit, and that is always concerning as far as safety. So, that those two statements, town board being lead agency and fast tracking, do not appeal to me at all. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Louise Daniele, 30-year resident. Let's see. I wanted to talk about something that isn't on the agenda, discussion or resolution, but it would probably be a new matter. I spoke to the supervisor about it, so I'm not really sure when he would like me to talk about it, if he wants me to come back up when it's old and new.
Okay. We'll talk about that when we get to new and old
Okay,
business.
thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Mr. Cantor, our chairman of the planning board.
Yes, Jonathan Cantor, Chair of the Town of Fishkill Planning Board. Just wanted to say that the items on the agenda for reappointment of planning board members, I just wanted to say that all of the planning board members are doing a really good job. The ones that are up for appointment, Bob Malvarosa is a regular member, Kevin O'Connell and BJ Gopal are alternate members, and I support their reappointment. And I've been enjoying being chair for the last 4 years, and definitely would appreciate being reappointed myself. So just wanted to see if there are any questions or any comments.
I
from
read your
anyone.
endorsement of each one, and that satisfies me.
Councilman Foreman?
Thank you for being here tonight. Do have a question about the lead agency on the big development on the river.
Oh, I'm sorry I missed that discussion. I got in just after that happened, so I don't know anything about it.
So the town board's considering being lead agency on this project, and I would like to hear what your comments would be as planning board chairman?
Well, I'm not sure exactly what the project is at this point, because as Ann mentioned, it was before the planning board for a very preliminary sketch plan. It was really several months ago. It was more than a couple. It was probably early last year, I think. And it did seem like a very complex project. A lot of issues with the access in particular. I know that the access over the railroad tracks was something that probably will be a very complicated matter to work out. Other issues as well. You know, normally on something like that, the planning board has, at the town board's request, taken lead agency status. It is something that we do a lot of, and we do have time to do it, but, you know, it's up to the town board. But I just don't know what the status of the project is at this point in terms of approvals and what the secret process would be at this point.
Yeah, it's a good question, John. My policy is going to be that project is going to need a zoning change. That's going to have to come to the town board anyway. And if we're going to deal with it, I want to know what we're dealing with instead of getting something from another agency or board, that we know up front how we steer it the way we want to take it. So that's my purpose. This waterfront, most likely Texaco 2, when that comes through in a couple months, that we're going to have to change the zoning law for that. So I think the town board should be in charge of any project that needs a zoning change. That's just my personal belief.
So just educate me. Does that mean they still have to go in front of the planning board to?
For what?
Well, they're going to need site plan, if nothing else, and the planning board will be an involved agency in secret review. I would expect that the town board, if you take lead agency, you'd have to circulate a notice of intent to be lead agency, you understand. But if you are lead agency, you'd lean heavily upon the planning board for reports and recommendations, particularly in regard to the technical aspects of the project.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just who has the final say.
I understand both sides, so.
Yeah, well, if we're going to change the zoning law,
Right.
we're going to drive it to where we need to have it to be to explain to our citizens. So I don't want to be to the point, well, the planning board did this. Well, no, you didn't. You changed it.
They adopt something and now they throw it at our.
Exactly. John,
got it.
perfect.
And Mr. Gabba, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure this would be a type 1 action, just given the nature of the size of the proposals.
I gotta tell you, I think you're right, but I just don't know enough about it. I mean, we discussed it a while ago as far as the.
I know, I don't either.
I would think it's type 1.
The acreage involved in its proximity to the Hudson River alone,
Probably
I think,
a
makes
type
it a
1,
type
but
1 by
I mean,
default.
I don't know for sure.
And
When we
also
get to it,
there's,
we'll get to it.
yeah, there's a fairly large residential proposal within it, as well as the park set aside. So, yeah, there's a ways to go, I think, before even a seeker lead agency aspect would come into play. But if there is, the planning board would definitely still be involved in site plan approvals and probably other aspects of it as well.
Exactly. Thank you, Mr. Cantor.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Yep.
This is the flyer
For which one? Give the rest to the clerk.
Thank you. Ready?
I'd like to make another comment.
Go on.
So now I'm even more alarmed. Now you're talking about rezoning. And so one of the pillars of your campaign was to respect zoning laws.
100%.
So now you're talking about rezoning. I'm wondering, is the zoning board going to have any say or any discussion, or is this going to be a project completely approved and massaged by the town board?
Thank you, buddy.
So you're talking about rezoning on the Hudson River. That's what you were just saying. You just said it like 3 times. And one of the pillars of your campaign was to respect the zoning laws, and now you're talking about rezoning in perhaps one of the most sensitive ecological locations in the town.
My policy was to enforce the zoning laws to benefit the citizens of the town of Fishkill. Let's get that straight.
Now you're talking about changing the zoning laws.
Now you're interrupting me. Let me explain what the deal is.
Excuse me, I wasn't done, and you
All right, then you're not
interrupted
gonna get an answer
me,
then.
Supervisor.
And you're not going to get an answer.
So, well, I mean, I kind of assume that out of you anymore. So I'm just saying, now you're talking about the town board is going to be looking at rezoning this area for a very complex project, and I'm wondering if the zoning board is going to have anything to do with that. So, just expressing my concern. You know, I mean, you're acting like, you know, with the scowl and the shaking your head. I mean, come on. You're supposed to be a professional. These are legitimate concerns. I'm not raising my voice. Contrary to what you were saying, I'm not interrupting you. So I have legitimate concerns, and I think other people in the town would have legitimate concerns. So that is kind of like old school Fishkill.
Anybody else? Okay, that portion is closed. That area over the tracks is an old brick factory.
It's zoned industrial, isn't it?
It's zoned industrial.
I don't think anybody would consider a good use of that property to be industrial along the Hudson River.
I just can't believe that somebody would want me to enforce a zone laws, brick, you know, factory with smokestacks there. It makes no sense.
No.
And it's not virgin land. It's been industrialized for at least 100 years. And we have an opportunity to get at least 10 acres on the Hudson River, and maybe a little commercial, a place where Fishkill residents can take their families for dinner. Maybe if they have a boat, put their boat out in the Hudson River. And it's a site that's has a lot of potential for the residents of Fishkill, I can tell you that.
Tremendous opportunity, potentially.
And I'd just like to reiterate, there will be no zoning change for any type of project unless it benefits the citizens of Fishkill.
Right.
This project has the possibility, working with Councilwoman Bardini, to generate probably $177 million of taxable revenue. Let me repeat that, $177 million of taxable revenue, waterfront access, place you can put your boat out, and it's not virgin land. It's an old brick factory that's just sitting there.
And it sort of has to sit there because with the Metro North line
Yes.
running through there, there is no current
Yes.
way to access that parcel except by the Hudson River, and there's no infrastructure for that either. So
Correct.
It really is a desolate property that nothing can be done with unless there were to be a zoning change.
And you're talking about multiple access, a $10 million bridge. We can't ask somebody to put two $10 million bridges on that site. And plus, there's no way to do it anyway.
There's really only, for that parcel, there's really only one access point where a crossing over the Metro North lines is logistically feasible.
Exactly. This is going to be it's in the beginning stages. I think it's going to be a great project, and it's going to bring a lot of revenue, a lot of waterfront access. Yes?
Question. So, again, when the gentleman was here talking about it, and we all agreed to that letter for that bridge, and that project, you know, for what I recall is, you know, a lot of everything that you're saying now. Yes, potentially high-end residential, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's taxable revenue.
And affordable housing.
And affordable housing.
Yep.
And in addition to that, potential businesses out there, and potential that public access to the water, and a number of things that just really made it, you know, potential for it to be really, really terrific. There's no doubt about that. And so at that time, he also discussed the bridge, and that's what he needed us to, you know, give to him so he could go to MTA, I guess.
Yes.
And how difficult, do you know anything about how difficult it was for them to give him that approval for a bridge? In other words, do you know if two bridges would be impossible, or, because I know that's their tracks, they're worried about security and all kinds of things, and do we know anything about the inner workings of that?
Just knowing the geography of that, it's impossible.
Yeah, okay. Is that what it is?
Because it isn't just a question of the tracks, it's a question of the terrain around the tracks.
No.
And
Okay.
the lack of other existing roadways on the properties directly to the east of those tracks. So if you're thinking, here's the river, here's the parcel, here's the tracks, there's really only one roadway that abuts that parcel on the other side of the track. So you'd basically need to build an entire new road to create a second crossing point. And even then, the terrain, the topography isn't beneficial.
Okay.
It would be very challenging.
So, that's good. It sounds like they're kind of underway. I just don't know how are members of the board steering this or helping this or working?
As soon as I get some more information where they're going to apply, then we'll figure out the way, Mr. Gabb, how to get this situated the right way.
Because I know we all are interested in this thing.
It's going to be great.
You know, very good. All right.
Yeah, this is a great project. All right. Where am I here? Consent agenda. So the consent agenda will have the resolution to waive their vendor fees for National Night Out, resolution to declare some highway and building grounds and police department equipment as surplus, waive the public fee for the SDCC Community Wellness Event, hiring the 2 cops, a waiver for a permit fee for the 5K run, reappointing Mr. Cantor to the chair, Malvarosa as a member, and Gopal as planning board alternate, and Mr. O'Connell also as a planning board alternate, and a resolution to accept the resignation of Buildings and Grounds employee Brian Canero, resolution to end the fee schedule for the rec, a resolution to authorize the 2025 fund adopted budget for the senior program, and a resolution to set the amount of performance and undertakings for the Homeland Towers. So I'll present that as a motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Just a real quick remark about employee Brian Canero resigning. He certainly was a good employee, and he's gone on to a job in a like field for more money, and who can blame him? So we wish him good fortune.
All right. Let's see where I'm at. Where do we got the first one?
First one has to be put over because that's part of the property maintenance, so that should be tabled until the
May 7th meeting, please. Number 1, May 7th. And number 2, May 7th.
3, we already said no.
Well, we got to
We
vote
still
on
have
it
to
still.
vote on it, though.
Yeah, you got
Yeah, you have to do it all.
So number 3, now therefore be resolved, the town board of the town of Fishkill approves the peddler and solicitor license for Hudson Valley Munchies. I'll present that as a motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
Vote? No?
No.
No.
Motion fails? 5-0, all 5?
Yep.
That's done. Number 4, reopen the public hearing for the proposed local law regarding accessory apartments. Now therefore be resolved that a further public hearing on the proposed local law be set for April 16th at 7 o'clock, and the due notice of the same directed to be given by the publication and posting. I'll present this motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next one up is the Little League. Now therefore be resolved as follows. The town board hereby approves the proposed rider to the license agreement, and that the town does hereby authorize town supervisor to execute the rider to the license agreement and any documents necessary to carry out the terms within. I'll present this motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
5-0. I don't have any items for special consideration. I got something for new business. I'll go first. So I keep getting these water bill things, guys, and I don't like going back and forth, and I know neither do you. Are you okay that if I can waive, like, if it's under $100, give me a little discretion on that, and if it's over 100, like 1,000, maybe 10%? They don't happen maybe 2 or 3 times a billing cycle, instead of coming to you guys all the time. You give me discretion to waive that. I can't do that?
Town board makes all determinations as far as fees and fines, and like, they can't delegate that authority to the town supervisor.
Can we pass a resolution to delegate?
You can pass a resolution that they're automatically waived if they're below a certain amount, but that's about
But
all
I'm
you
allowed
can
to
do.
do that or no?
It would be automatic.
Well,
I see, here's my question, and I understand you want something a little bit quicker and more efficient,
Yeah.
et cetera. But, I mean, I'm just not, when I first got on the board and people asked for a waiver on fees, and we did them, and they just keep coming, I'm wondering, like, what's the guidance here? What's the parameter?
that's what I'm trying to get at.
You know,
Yeah.
but is it just a dollar amount, or do they need to show? It seems like there needs to be some rails on this thing. I wouldn't know how to do that, but looking at you for some guidance, you know.
When it comes to fines that are imposed or fees that are imposed, well, generally speaking, once they're imposed, that's it. However, there's special circumstances. It's actually called the moral obligation rule. And if you find that, for example, the guy didn't get a bill that was sent out saying you have to pay by this date or you're going to be imposed, there's a fee that's going to be imposed, and you believe him, you can waive that fine or fee, whatever it may be, because of the late payment. You didn't get the notice, you were supposed to get the notice, it's nobody's fault, we're willing to do it. You had one before, there was some running water or something like that, and it was really one of those things, it wasn't the property owner's fault that they couldn't catch the, the issue that was going on, and I forget whether you waived it or reduced it. But that's the type of thing where you can exercise your discretion to forgive a fee or a fine because of the special circumstances of that instance. The only other thing you can do besides that is to say, if it's less than $100 and somebody asks for a waiver, we're willing to waive that automatically. The clerk can do it, or and the reason for that would be to sue for $100 would be pointless. You'd spend more money on legal fees than not. But generally speaking, that discretion, that determination whether special circumstances exist or not, is vested in the elected town board, and you can't give up that discretion to the clerk of, whether it's water or sewer or whatever it is, or even to the town supervisor. Got to take it on a case-by-case basis.
So I have to bring it, one guy is similar to what you said.
Your request, it's just got to come.
I'm afraid you do. I don't see a way around that.
As annoying procedurally as that is, I certainly understand and appreciate the principle that a legislative body can't legislate away its own authority, so.
Well, I was thinking the board votes, let the supervisor go below $50 or something, $100, just do it. I can't do that.
I don't see a way to do that. I can look into it further. Maybe if I research it, I'll find something for you, but I do not know of a way that a town board can tell the supervisor that fines or fees can be waived in his or her discretion without the board determination.
This email, this individual was talking about a late fee, and there was some screw up on getting the bill or whatever, and I agree with that, sure, what the heck.
Like $18 or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not gonna kill us, but, yeah.
I'll just put it on the agenda for the next meeting.
Okay.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
The village has raised the water rates from $12 to $13 per cubic feet. Just want to let everybody know that. Anybody else in new business, Brian?
No, other than we're going to, if everyone is in agreement with the look and the feel and the information, except for the tweaks that you gave me, Supervisor, for putting the information on affordable housing, that information.
I like that.
Okay, so I'll make those tweaks, pass it around for final comment, and then I'll work with Debbie Colonna to get it on the website.
Do we have to do a town board resolution for that?
This is just posting on the website.
Yeah.
I don't think you need one for that.
Yeah.
John, anything?
Nothing.
No. Just a reminder, at the end of next month, we do have Memorial Day, and we should plan our town observances with the Veterans Committee in advance. Okay. That's all. Just a flag.
Jackie? I'm good. Ms. Daniele?
Thank you for letting me come back up. I'm here tonight because, as you're aware, I'm currently facing litigation for statements I made while on the town board at the dais. As this is a matter of ongoing litigation, I will not discuss any particulars of the case. If the board wanted me to speak in executive session, I would. Otherwise, I'll just continue in open session if you'd like me to. Do you want me to continue in open?
Continue.
Okay. I would like at this time to request that the town board retain the services of Craig Kepler of Denlia and Carton out of White Plains to represent me in this matter. He represented a board member during a prior litigation against the same defendant and won. This attorney has a proven track record of successfully litigating against this plaintiff on behalf of town officials and possesses an extensive existing knowledge of the particulars surrounding the larger matter in this litigation. So I urge and respectfully request that the board approve this attorney for representation in this litigation. And I believe the supervisor has an agreement, if you're all in agreement with it.
I will consider doing it. I want to hear what the other board members think.
It's difficult to explain my rationale behind this because in order to do so, I would need to discuss particulars pertaining to the case, which I really can't do in an open session since it is a matter of ongoing litigation. All I can say is that I understand the reason why you're making this request, and I'm inclined to grant it.
Thank you.
I agree, familiar with the attorney and the other case that was handled by the attorney. I think that we would save the town a substantial amount of money because the familiarity with issues and with this particular individual. I don't like that people think that they can keep suing us for speaking in the dais here where we have immunity. Any first-year law school student knows we have immunity. And it's a frivolous claim if you ask me, and I certainly support you, Louise.
Thank you.
Anyway, over here.
Yeah, I have a comment, question. So when this was brought up to us a couple weeks ago, it was being sent to our insurance company. What was the result of that?
They accepted the claim.
They accepted the claim.
Yes. Was that the proper term?
Yeah, they're providing coverage. They're providing a defense, not necessarily indemnity.
Okay. Perfect.
So what happens, hypothetically, if there's a judgment against Ms. Daniele? So the town board allows Louise to hire her own private attorney, and there's a $50,000 judgment, settlement, whatever you want to call, on that. Is our insurance company going to say, hey, you guys didn't let us defend this case? We're not paying that claim. I don't know the answer to that question.
The insurance company, I can't speak for them, I don't represent them, but I would expect that they will disclaim in the event that this board hires other counsel.
Correct. But what is the result, one way or the other, if they found her liable? Can you explain that?
Well, this is I really don't want to get into the particulars of the litigation, Ozzy, as far as that goes. I'll be happy to talk with the board in closed session.
I want to keep it in public so no one says there's something going on.
Understood, but I just don't want to answer.
Is it likely that Louise would be indemnified by the insurance company based on your understanding of the complaint as it was submitted?
Well, let me phrase it this way. The insurance company, NYMER, I believe it is, has not committed to indemnification in this case. The reasoning, as I understand it, of the insurance company is that the complaint alleges intentional torts and that there is no coverage for intentional torts under your policy, or indeed pretty much any policy as far as insurance goes.
So in the event of a judgment against the defendant in this case,
Either way,
the insurance company, whether they're providing the defense or not, would likely deny, they would disavow any type of payment in judgment in that.
Well, Greg, I think you're phrasing it a little too broadly. It's too early to tell. It would depend on what the judgment was, but as pled in the complaint, I think generally speaking, you're on the right track.
So we have a case where the insurance company is willing to provide defense costs.
yes.
And she's looking to hire an outside firm. Do we know what kind of money we're talking about?
No more than
Are we leaving it open?
No more than $350 per hour
For how long?
until they settle the case. And this is an attorney that has worked and been successful dealing with this litigant.
I cannot rationalize spending that money.
Okay. Brian?
I wrestle with this, and I know I've had a conversation about that. And if I were in your shoes, I would want to make sure that this board covered me if something happened. And there's no doubt about that. I would be willing, very willing, because you were on the board, sitting on the board, making a remark, and now you're being sued. And I'm trying to parse my words very carefully so I don't dip into this case or make myself liable for anything. You get my point.
I do.
But I am hung up on the same issue of the financing of this. You know, and we don't know, you know, if there's no guarantees. What if there's then an appeal, and then there's going on, and there's more and more, and we could have that cost covered, and I have to hang my hat on just that fiscal aspect, and I'm sorry, but that's where I'm going to go. It looks like you do have the votes for that, but I just feel like NYMER is going to cover that at least, because if there is a judgment, who would we, the town, be liable for the judgment, or?
Well, again, it would depend on what the judgment was for. If it's for an intentional tort, then there's no obligation to indemnify. If it's for something other than an intentional tort, possibly.
So, anyway, just for this aspect of it, Louise, I hope you respect, I'm going to be a no. You know.
See, 2 weeks ago, we had a inkling that it was not going to be covered under our insurance company.
Right.
And, you know, and now that they're covering it, willing to defend, I just can't justify the payment.
I would have been voting for that too, and I know we had a conversation, and, you know, I hope it doesn't disappoint, but I know you have the votes, so, but I have to come down on that side, you know, just because I don't know how long this expense would go on.
Well, as you and I discussed, I respect what you're saying, you know, but I also just want to remind you of what we did discuss. Like, this literally could happen to any single one of you.
Right.
And, you know, it's just, I understand Councilmember Foreman's insurance perspective of it. I get it. But looking at what I see and what I've seen from the other attorney, I just think this is like the quickest, easiest way. And that's all I'm asking for. I understand it, Brian. I mean, I'm frugal. We have that discussion. I don't like spending money unnecessarily either. But, you know, when it comes down to defending myself or any of you, I would support any of you, as I have in the past with your supervisor. So, but I get it.
Well, that also wasn't picked up by NYMER, if I remember, and so you guys took that.
It was after. That was a different scenario. It was like an after one, and then
yeah. So
covered
I mean,
it.
If NYMER wasn't picking this up, I'm a yes vote. You know, that's all there's to it, because I would support unless something was wildly illegal.
Well, there's other stuff, but I can't really say it in public, so I'm not going to.
If I can jump in, just two thoughts. The first is for Mr. Gaba. In the event that, as it appears, the insurance company may not provide indemnification in this case, the town board has voted in the past to indemnify officials of the town, be they elected or appointed, when they have been faced with litigation due to official actions or statements that they made in the course of their duties. Would it be appropriate for the board to consider a resolution to indemnify Ms. Daniele in this litigation to protect her against any individual liability, since there is no doubt, based on the complaint, that the allegations pertain to her official conduct as an elected official?
Not at this juncture. You'd have to wait and see what the judgment was for. You may feel that way, but a jury or a court may find otherwise. The appropriate action, and I think it's what an insurance company would do too, is to provide a defense under reservation of rights. If it turns out that she's, and I don't think she will, by the way, but I mean, if it turns out that she's found liable in the lawsuit.
Which you don't think she will.
Which I don't, but we won't go into that any further.
Right.
Then I think that if it was for an intentional tort, the town board could not indemnify her. If it was for anything else, recklessness, negligence, strict liability of some kind, I mean, then yeah, you absolutely could. But you got to wait and see what that judgment is. You can't commit blindly. We'll indemnify you no matter what.
Okay. I appreciate the clarification, since that's not my expertise.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, I was going to digress. I was going to speak to my colleagues, but if you had more to offer on that.
Just really quickly. I understand the financial aspect of this, and it's something the board has to be concerned about. You have to watch taxpayer dollars. And I wouldn't undertake to speak for Louise, believe me, but as I understand the situation, this is kind of a special case. There are specialized facts. There's a long history involved in this matter. It isn't something that insurance counsel who knows nothing about it can come in and pick up quickly and be in a position to move on. And so although, yes, NYMER has offered counsel, and they're reputable counsel as far as that goes, in this particular instance where you have this history and all these nuances of facts and you really need to know who the players are, if you can bring in an attorney who has specialized knowledge, and not necessarily legal knowledge, although this is a reputable firm as well, but specialized knowledge of the facts and the underlying claims here, that's something that would enable the board to say, yeah, notwithstanding that there's insurance coverage, this is a firm that we need to have in this instance, and NYMER's not going to hire them to provide a defense. So you could use your discretion in this particular instance to say, yeah, on these facts. This isn't an automobile accident where any insurance company could come and pick it up. This is a very esoteric claim, and to seek specialized counsel is a perfectly reasonable request.
Absolutely.
If I can, wait,
And
right,
sort of
right,
to,
sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just want to say thank you, Mr. Gaba, for explaining that, because you said it perfectly. So without expanding on like what the specifics are, thank you, because you said it exactly the way I was thinking it.
Can I ask you a question? Were you going to say something?
I was, but if you, I'll just follow up when you're finished, it's fine.
So what you were saying makes logical sense, and I can appreciate that. Are you feeling, because of this firm's knowledge and nuance at this, and what you said, you don't feel like it's, I don't want to put words in your mouth, you feel like the case is not justified, basically, or
Well, I'm not going to talk about the underlying case, Brian.
Well, the accusation.
Can't talk about that.
See, this is why I wanted to go into executive to discuss this damn thing.
I understand.
I'm still not going to say in
But,
executive session.
to my colleagues, I certainly understand.
I'm not finished.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm not finished.
Yeah, you know how I feel.
I'm not finished. Because the votes are there for you, but I'm trying to understand, just break it down a little bit more on that reasoning. Do you feel because this attorney that she'd like for us to hire is highly qualified because of previous experience and knowledge, and could work on this more quickly, more efficiently, and with knowledge to be a better defense? Give me a little bit more right in there.
Well, let me break it down this way, and I'll circle back to that in a second. If this was, for example, a simple automobile accident, and you had, I don't know, somebody from highway or whatever it is come to you and say, I know our insurance company is providing us with a defense, but the fact of the matter is, I really like this other firm. They handled my divorce. They helped me buy my house, whatever it is. And I want you to not take your insurance coverage to provide the defense costs. I want you to pay out of the town's pocket his legal fees.
That makes no sense.
You would be in a bad way. In fact, I don't think you'd do it. I think it would be a gift of public funds.
Right.
So you need special circumstances to say, wait a minute, insurance is great, and I'm glad that they're willing to, but the attorneys that they're providing simply aren't equipped to undertake the defense or prosecution of this particular case. And you need to have a reason for that. And look, the nature of the claim is such that you could probably find a lot of attorneys who, they handle defense of tort claims one way or another. But to find somebody who knows the long history, and it's a long history in this case, and the facts that really provide the background for this type of claim, and I think are going to be important in the defense. Okay. You're going to be hard-pressed to find somebody, and you could say, gee, they might be good attorneys, but chances are, well, I don't want to take the chance they're going to overlook this fact, that fact.
I got you.
The players involved, and that's why this particular law firm, it's up to the board, of course.
Right.
But you have discretion to find that this is a special case.
I was going to say, my comment, if I can jump back into.
You already said he was
Wait, did you hear Brian? He said he would support me, and I said thank you, just so you know.
I'd still like to speak to John.
No, we're good.
If I may.
I don't think he's going to change his mind. We're good.
Where are we going to get the
What was the point
money?
of me even running if I'm just going to be told not to
The
speak?
regular insurance.
Seriously, what was the point?
It's not a bad way.
Is there money in the line item?
Yeah, we got money on that. We're actually talking about investing like $6 million next week. So we can handle this.
So I apologize to Greg for cutting him off. So
No,
Greg,
it's not you I'm annoyed with right now, Louise. I'll have a conversation with that person later.
Me?
No.
No. Well,
Come on. Come on,
All right,
guys.
I'm done.
I don't think it was
Not you,
Brian.
John, you're fine.
I think it was me, so
All right,
I
it's not
apologize
Louise,
for
that's
cutting
it,
you off.
that's it, that's
Yeah.
it, that's it. I'm gonna move on this. Mr. Gaba, can we do a resolution now to do this?
Well, you can, but you're going to need two resolutions.
Okay,
You're
let's do-
either going to have to make a motion to amend the agenda to include an additional resolution, or you're going to have to make a motion to include it as an item, well, it would be the agenda under special consideration.
Start it off and I'll just make the motion.
Okay. Motion to amend the agenda to include an additional item for special consideration regarding retention of counsel for former Councilwoman Louise Daniele.
I'll present that as a motion, can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 5-0. Next one.
All right. I just drew this up, so don't expect
Okay.
too much.
But you're good.
Whereas former Councilwoman Louise Daniele has been named as a defendant in a lawsuit brought against her by Dominic Broccoli for alleged actions taken in the course of performing her duties as a town council person. And whereas, under the town code, former Councilwoman Daniele is entitled to receive a defense in the said lawsuit from the town. And whereas former Councilwoman Daniele has requested that the town provide her with a defense through the firm of Denley and Carton LLP, which firm has provided a proposed retainer agreement under which it will provide legal services at the rate of $300 to $350 per hour. Now therefore be it resolved as follows. 1, that the town shall provide a defense in the said lawsuit to former Councilwoman Daniele as requested and as provided for under the town code. And 2, that the town board approves the retainer agreement provided by Denley and Carton LLP and the provision of legal services thereunder to former Councilwoman Daniele, provided that such services shall not extend to assertion of a counterclaim or a third-party claim other than contribution or indemnity.
Present as a motion, can I have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote.
I'm sorry. Councilmember, I'm sorry. I don't want to get yelled at again. Councilmember Bardini.
Aye.
Okay, Councilmember Totino.
Aye.
Where am I? Councilmember Rai.
Yes.
Councilmember Foreman.
Yes.
And Supervisor Albro.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you, gentlemen. All right.
I just want to say thank you to all of you. I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Next up, I talked about those banners. I got a yes from Becky, Carmine,
What?
for the banner.
Me?
Oh, yes.
Brian,
Oh, yeah.
And me.
What's the banner for?
there's the little guy with the Revolutionary War, young
Yeah.
kid with the drummer.
Yeah.
Would you like to be part of that?
Yes.
Okay, so what I like to do by alphabetical order, I'll just put our first names, Brian, John, Ozzy. Everybody in for that? It's $40 each.
Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
Everybody good with that?
Yep.
That's all I have. Next town board,
I had asked you, cash check, how do you?
just give me cash.
I'll bring it with me on the 16th.
Okay,
Okay.
just bring me cash and I'll just
Yep.
give I'll give Joe the check for the banner guy.
You got it.
I'll
No
pay you.
Venmo, I don't do no Venmo.
Oh,
What is
come
this?
on.
I'll pay you tonight.
I'll Venmo you.
Venmo, yeah, $40 each, guys.
I don't carry cash.
Jesus, like my kids. All right, next town board meeting, March 7th. Thank you all.
No.
Today is March 7th.
March 7th.
April 16th.
April?
April 16th.
April 16th. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I make a motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you.
Who seconded that?
Everyone. Sure, me.